These next tests require cooperation. Consequently, they have never been solved by a human. That's where you come in.
Welcome to the second Arcade of Awesome podcast. This is our first one where we're not just talking about a single game. We're going to be talking about the new releases of 2011, all the new things coming, and even a new system coming, possibly too. So that's all in store. And with me, I'm Tom. I don't know if I mentioned that, but with me today is Surday.
Hey.
And Bacon.
Hi. Why was I called last?
There's no particular reason for that.
You're last on the queue on my screen, so yeah.
Right then, so let's head into some news here. How are we feeling about the new year? Games that are coming in the new year. Just a few games: Gears of War 3, Dragon Age 2, Dead Space 2, Mass Effect 3, Batman: Arkham City, Bulletstorm. Batman, yeah, that's right.
Portal 2.
Portal 2, Rage. There's just lots of good games. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Forza 4.
Forza 4?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's that Connect one. Yeah. The one that's got Connect in it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna blow load, but...
Crysis 2, Bioshock Infinite. There are a lot of great games coming out in this next year.
Oh, yeah. Great year of games. The main thing here is going to be the PS3 exclusives, though, because there's just so many this year.
There are. Well, let's look at a few of those PS3 games. Little Big Planet 2, that came out just now, or I think it's about to come out, maybe?
I don't know, it's not out here yet, over in Britland. I'm pretty sure it's coming out soon, so... I don't think it's out.
Okay.
The reviews up, though, they're saying it's quite good. It's like 8.5s and probably 10s and stuff. They're saying it's like similar to the first one, but it's got lots of bells and whistles that makes it like a lot better. Like it doesn't actually have to be a platforming game now. You can have like side-scrolling space shooters and stuff, which I suppose improves it a bit. But you're only really going to enjoy that game if you're willing to create a massive level, or you buy it a lot later and you can just take advantage of the fact that everyone else has made tons and tons and tons and tons of levels which you can play through.
Well, the first Little Big Planet, I think there were something like a total of over 1 million levels that had been created for it. So.
Oh, I think it was like 5 million or something.
Was it really?
Yeah, you can actually play the first game's levels on the second disc. So you can go back and experience all these things people have made in the first one, which I suppose is kind of a selling point. But, yeah.
Well, not just kind of a selling point. Sounds like a huge selling point.
Well, yeah. The first one's for like, I don't know, $10 or pounds or whatever. So you might as well just get that one at the moment. Like the Game of the Year edition. It does look really good, though. I mean, I get it if my PlayStation 3 wasn't currently broken. It's just you can also I've heard like you can actually control AI bots in this one. So like you can program a robot to walk around and say things which you've recorded with your voice, and you can also piece together levels. So you can make some sort of like side-scrolling RPG or something. So I'm seeing a Zelda 2 remake coming on from some.
It's always amazing to see what people make with those things. As long as you have a tool that's versatile enough, there are a lot of creative people.
Yeah. You got like Contra. They remade Contra in the first one, like the whole game. And I mean, they're all separate levels, so you got to switch between each one before you can play them all, which is a bit annoying. But like, it's literally Contra on Little Big Planet.
I've always imagined Little Big Planet as Gary's Mod and Mario had a baby.
That sounds disgusting. Gary's Mod, no, I wouldn't say it's quite as. Actually, no, Gary's Mod's a different thing, really, isn't it? Because that's more creating objects.
Well, Little Big Planet has its share of that too, but to a lesser extent, I suppose.
Yeah, I think Little Big Planet's more about the environments you can create with that tool set. I think even the main levels in the actual game are created with the level creator. It's just so versatile. While Gary's Mod is sort of, I don't know, more of a toolkit for creating jet-propelled bathtub. That's generally what I'll do with that. Yeah.
Some other games that are coming exclusively to the PS3: Killzone 3, Uncharted 3, Infamous 2, Resistance 3, and The Last Guardian. How do we feel about any of those? They all sound good, don't
Well, I don't own a PS3, so.
Right. Well, Killzone 2, I played briefly. I mean, what can I say? It's a shooter. It's basically, you're in a war. War's bad, as it's teaching us. But even though we're playing lots of games that involve war, it's kind of ironic. The graphics were brilliant, but I don't know. It's just a shooter as far as I'm concerned.
Seems kind of generic, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've got jetpacks in the third one, so maybe they're really good jetpacks, like the Dark Void jetpack. That was a seriously shunned game, that Dark Void game. But yeah, I don't know. The second one wasn't anything special. Maybe the third one can sort of pull it out of mediocrity in my eyes. Uncharted 3, on the other hand, has anyone seen the preview of this on was it Jimmy Fallon, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon or something?
I did see the preview. I don't remember where I saw it, but
yeah, it was like they're trying to escape like a chateau. But yeah, the gameplay of that just looks so good. I mean, it's very similar to the second one, but the second one was really good. So you can't really mess up that formula. The voice acting, as always, looks brilliant, and the graphics, you can't really go wrong with the graphics engine in that game. Looking forward to that. Sadly, we haven't seen enough of that game yet, but hey, it's coming out in like November, so there's still time.
It's supposed to come out on November 1st.
That's going to be a good day. In fact, that whole month's going to be good by the looks of things. November this year.
Well, I can't wait for April.
April. Why can't you wait for April?
Portal 2.
Portal 2, huh?
Yes.
Massively excited for that, I'm told.
Yes, in fact, I'm planning on freezing myself and thawing myself in April.
If you're frozen, how do you thaw yourself? Do you get someone else to do it? Then?
Yeah, like in that South Park episode.
That South Park episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right, of course. I remember that. Exactly.
One of those, like, atheist gophers or something.
I honestly haven't seen that episode. I've seen like 2 episodes of South Park. I'm just out of the loop on that show.
Yeah.
Why are you looking forward to it so much, Bacon?
Because I freaking love Portal 1. I have Still Alive on my iPod. In fact, I have the entire Orange Box soundtrack on my iPod. I'm that big of a freaking fanboy.
Yeah, listen to it religiously. Do you know all the lyrics?
Yes.
Oh dear. See, I had a rock band, but that's the extent of my knowledge of that song. Actually, no, I did complete it like twice, Portal, but
I've completed it like 5 times.
I don't know. I like how it goes, but I think if they make that game into a longer experience, it's just going to sort of the feeling of the first one will just die out.
No.
I think they're going for the multiplayer in this one, at least 2-player cooperative.
Yeah, Tulu Robot.
Yeah, that looks good. That does look good.
And
creative pop system, isn't it?
And let's see. Yeah, Portal 2 is gonna be awesome, and yeah.
That's the extent of it. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. No, I think they might be. I mean, it's Valve, and they obviously create some really good games, so it's definitely going to be good. But I hope it's not a Left 4 Dead 2 sort of deal where they just go, yeah, here's the first game again. Woo.
And if Gabe Newell plays it again, then I'm gonna punch him in the gonads.
Well, from the looks of things, they are doing some innovation with it too. They're adding things like the gels and platforms, like the laser platforms, whatever those things are. I've watched the trailers. I haven't really done much more than that on Portal 2, but
I haven't done anything towards Portal 2. I've looked at screenshots of the co-op characters. Like you got the big one and the fat one.
Yeah, Atlas and Peabody. That's what their names are.
You would know.
Yeah, I would know, actually. I have posters, I have Weighted Companion Cube plush. Yeah, I would know.
You have a plush. Are you going to throw it in a fire the first time you see a fire just to be ironic?
No, I will not. I will hug you.
You will not damage the companion cube. I don't know. So they got lots of new elements to the game now, have they?
it seems to be what the trailers look like. Maybe they're gimmicky. That might be the only problem with them, but they do look like they could add a unique spin to at least a couple of times. You know, it's the sort of thing where it might get old.
I saw the companion cube in the trailer.
Well, there you go.
I already know this game is going to be great.
The only thing I've seen is the 2 co-op characters. You can actually hug the other player to like apologize for certain things. I don't know. That's all I've really heard about Portal 2. I just thought, okay.
That seems almost kind of creepy, maybe. I'm not sure about that.
guess it'll work, just in a weird sense. I mean, that'd be good in Left 4 Dead. You actually accidentally shoot someone, you could just go up and hug them instead of them running around like in a crazed frenzy trying to shoot you, and you're sort of going, no, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. And I don't have a mic, so I can't actually get that across. I'll be saying it anyway with no real effect. But hey, it'd just be helpful. Just go, I'm sorry, nice little hug. As it said in Portal 2, that's possible. Although you don't actually have a gun, so I don't see why the hug is.
Well, I mean, you could like portal him into a lava pit or something.
Yeah, but they're not
accidentally.
coming back after that.
Yeah, that's right. I just accidentally, shoot these two portals so that you fall into a lava pit.
Yes, directly in. Sorry, yes. Don't know how that can happen.
Well, total mistake. Total mistake.
Alright. Well, I suspect we've gone for Portal 2 for a while, but what else are we looking at?
Oh, Portal 2.
Oh, Portal 2, yeah, I've heard about that.
Oh, I haven't talked about that, have we? I don't think so.
Alright, let's see.
How about Dead Space 2?
Dead Space 2.
Is there any excitement for that at all? Or does it, it looks kind of like the first game again, only with multiplayer tacked on. But,
is there multiplayer in this one?
Yeah, there's multiplayer. You can play as the necromorphs and as the, whatever they are, the engineer, marine guys.
Yeah. It's sort of Left 4 Dead.
It's kind of like that, exactly, yeah.
I suppose, I can't actually play multiplayer in any of EA games because they've messed up my EA account somehow. They won't sort it out for me. But I suspect they could get away with doing that pretty well. I mean, you got some pretty unique necromorphs. Like you got, because I played the first one, you've got the baby with tentacles that come out, which could like jump around the room. So that can make it a really hard to hit target. Good for multiplayer. Like you could be able to jump onto other players and rip stuff out. I guess assorted limbs.
Assorted limbs.
Yeah.
Now, is this a
Very
PS3 exclusive?
No.
I know it's on PS3, but I'm not sure. Let me check.
It's definitely a multi-platform game.
Yeah, it's on Xbox too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suspect it'll be alright. Maybe at least as good as the original, because the original was quite good. I just hope they make this one, I don't know, scary. Dead Space wasn't that scary. It's just like the monsters who lie on the floor and they go, "Oh, I'm awake," and you just go, "Oh." That monster is actually alive. I'll just knock off its limbs because I've upgraded this gun so many times that nothing is a problem anymore. Like even the bosses towards the end of that game, easy.
Now,
good ripper in there.
Another game coming out is Metal Gear Solid 3D.
Oh, on the 3DS. We haven't even come across the 3DS yet.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about that?
So the 3DS.
The 3DS. What in the world is that? It is a new system, sort of.
Yeah.
3DS 3D capabilities. Anyone who hasn't heard about that lives under a rock.
Well, it's also it's a higher resolution. I mean, if you look at those trailers for like Kid Icarus, it's just much better than the hardware capabilities of the 3DS look so much better than the DS ever was.
Yeah. But isn't it like I don't know, GameCube / PS2 sort of generation?
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
See, that's pretty impressive.
It is.
Depending on but like the original DS had Super Mario 64, didn't it? And that was pretty good graphics, but nothing really followed. That is my worry.
Yeah. I mean, they were good.
Were pretty good.
Like the Zelda games on the DS, those looked nice. I mean, it's a simplistic art style, granted, but they look very similar to Wind Waker.
Have they announced a 3DS Mario yet?
That's the thing. No, they haven't actually. There's a Mario Kart, and there's a Paper Mario remake, but there's no actual Mario game, no running and jumping sort of Mario game on the 3DS.
There wasn't on the DS though, was there? They didn't announce New Super Mario Bros. Till like 2006. If I remember right.
I don't remember exactly how that happened, but it's just a weird thing. The launch of the 3DS, they're just not going to have as many. I mean, their tentpole title is Nintendogs plus Cats.
Well, yeah, that's going to sound quite a lot. But I think the thing about Nintendo is originally they'd need Mario game to sell the console. Mario was what sold the console, but now I think their consoles sell based on the hardware alone. So like the Wii, you had the whole you can move your hand and stuff happens. Thing going on.
Yeah, it hasn't been.
Yeah, it has a ring to it, that sort of thing. And so Wii Sports sold that because it's just the technology. Same with the DS, you had the touch screen, so you didn't actually need a Mario game to sell at launch. And the same with the 3DS because you got the 3D and the really good graphics for a handheld console, which is sort of like a revelation of handheld.
But the thing is, they had a Mario game at launch. I got my DS. I also got Mario 64 DS.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that did have a Mario game at launch. Though it's just a remake. Every other console, well, the Nintendo 64 had Super Mario 64, didn't it? Well, the GameCube didn't have Mario Sunshine till the end. I guess they've just been stepping out the whole Mario game at launch trend past few generations.
That's the other thing. You talk about remakes. That's mostly what the 3DS is getting. If you look at the titles that are coming out for it, things like the Star Fox game is just a remake of Star Fox 64. It's not a new
Which is a
game.
remake of Star Fox 1.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's
Star Fox 2, I think. Star Fox 2. Yeah,
it's the parts of the Star Fox 2 that got ported over to the 64.
That's alright, isn't it?
Well, I mean, do you really want to buy the same game twice just for 3D? I mean, if you already have the game.
People have been asking for remakes of these games. Like, the Zelda remake, that came up and everyone, whoa, finally, a Queen of Time. I mean, I suppose it'd be a bit of a cop-out if all they've done is upgrade the graphics and then they've left it at that. They've got no, like, extras at all. Maybe, I don't know, an extra dungeon or something would be nice. I mean, I don't want them to ruin the game as it is because, it's a good game.
Well, to be fair, they did do that with Super Mario 64. I mean, they added extra stars to that and extra playable characters. So I suppose they probably will add content. But
yeah, they know what they're doing with the whole remake.
But there are good games coming out.
What else we got coming out? We've got the thing I'm really looking forward to the 3DS for actually is the selection of fighting games. Jesus Christ, there's 3 before launch, 3 fighting games in us. That's insane. That's never happened, I don't think. Unless you're talking like Neo Geo, I suspect it was fighting games, yeah, got them up the arse. But yeah, you got Super Street Fighter 4, which is like one of my favourite Xbox 360 fighters. You got Dead or Alive Dimensions. I mean, there hasn't been a Dead or Alive game in like forever.
Well, there has been, but it hasn't been a fighting game, has it?
Yes. Yeah,
We won't even mention those ones.
And those people are the same people who handled Samus. Oh boy.
Yeah. Don't get me started on bloody other. But yeah, the other game is pretty much a port, I think, of BlazBlue Continuum Shift. Although it's called something else now. I don't know. They sort of released it, then re-released it with a few more characters, and now they're making a sequel of the re-release. So I'm guessing they're just going to add a few more characters in fighting game style. But still, that's 3 fighting games, and I will be buying them all and playing them all. Fighting games.
Well, I'm still not sure if I want to get a 3DS, though, because I mean, I like to see what the 3D looks like. We don't really have a good idea of what it looks like yet. I mean, we're told that it's great, but I haven't seen it, and no one outside of the games industry really has.
At this point, it could still be seen as a gimmick.
Yeah.
My question is, do you need the glasses? I'm still confused with this.
No glasses.
That's the whole point. You don't need the glasses for this. Yeah, because I was thinking it'd be a bit stupid just walking around with stupid 3D glasses on all the time just to play a little handheld console.
It'd be like walking around with a virtual boy, right?
Didn't the creator of it die while playing it or something?
No, Gunpei Yokoi, I think his name was. He got in a little car crash, and then when he went out to inspect it, he got clipped by a car.
Life on Mars. Sorry.
He's the creator of Metroid too. So.
Yeah.
A good guy.
Lucky he didn't see Other M then, I've got to say. He would probably be tearing his hair out at that game.
He's probably rolling in his grave.
He meant Metroid to be a trilogy, though, so he wouldn't have wanted Prime either.
I suppose, double-edged sword. Either way, there's no Metroid game coming out this year, so there's no point getting into the Metroid.
No, but there is a Zelda game, supposedly. It's supposed to come out on December 31st. We'll see about that. Skyward Sword for the Wii.
I was interested in that till I heard from some guy, he said, yeah, and this one, Link can fly. Link can fly with the sword, I assume, it being Skyward Sword.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, Skyward Sword, flying with the sword, I don't know, I kind of like when it was, I don't know, almost down to earth in Twilight Princess. I mean, sure, it's pretty out there for a game, but it's down to earth in Zelda sort of mythos, and also like Wind Waker, you got the sailing, but they've been experimenting with different methods of travel recently, haven't they? So they had the boat, they had the train in Spirit Tracks, which was awful. If anyone's ever played that, literally it's just on, in fact the boat in the DS version of Zelda as well, you're just on a line and you have to shoot things on the line. You can't just go away and leave it. Really annoying.
I haven't played Spirit Tracks, but I know what you're talking about with the boat. That was kind of...
I'm on a boat.
Yeah. It it was very tedious. The other thing about the Spirit Tracks is that it uses the microphone to play like an instrument,
I hate that.
it never gets it right. It's very frustrating. But I hope that I hope they don't bring that into the 3DS. The Ocarina playing it by going woo.
No, that could be bad.
Yeah, that's the one advancement I hope they don't make.
You know, I have to be honest. I have to be 100% honest. I don't like Zelda at all.
Well, okay.
At all.
Is there any particular reason behind it?
I just can never get the controls down. Link just seems boring, and
Link's meant to be sort of, I think, you as a person. I don't know. There's no real character to Link, although he's quite an energetic speaker with his and his thing.
He never talks. That's one of the problems, or you can never tell what he's saying.
Yeah, but I mean, then he's just trying to be like Gordon Freeman. So
no, I think it came out long before Gordon Freeman.
Yeah, Gordon Freeman did it better.
20 years into the future and thought, I need to be that guy. I don't even have glasses. Come on.
Yeah, but I like Gordon Freeman better.
Well, yeah.
And I liked Samus better, but you know, Other M kind of twatted itself on that one.
That's the point. That's when we don't want Link to have a voice, because they messed up Samus. Why do we want Link to... What would Link be? He'd just be the typical JRPG hero if he's got a voice, wouldn't he? Like, yeah, I gotta save my sister. Oh no, evil guys. Ah! You know, rather than just, yeah! It's good stuff, that. They're not gonna mess Link up, but I can see why you don't enjoy it when you've got, like, games like, say, Mass Effect, where you've got this character that is your creation, but also has choices and various storylines to explore, which are all very character-driven and, you know, quite good, whereas Zelda, everything's quite basic.
Well, that's the old divide between Western RPGs and Japanese RPGs, because Japanese RPGs, you're usually taking the role of a character that they've created for you, whereas Western RPGs, you're usually creating your own character. Isn't that usually the divide? I mean, something like Fallout or Oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that, where you're creating your own character, as opposed to Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, where you're just taking on a role.
I think that's what's created the divide in the RPGs recently. Like, back in the 90s, the JRPGs were literally, the JRPGs, the RPGs you wanted to play. They were good. They had these awesome stories, spanned hours. There was so much you could do, so much to see. It was really cool. But then, back then, Western RPGs weren't quite as popular. They were only really on the PC because consoles weren't capable. So PC players were going, oh, this is really good. And like anyone on consoles going, yeah, well, sure they are, but we can't play them. So we just stick with our JRPGs, thanks, because they were awesome. But now that they're on the consoles, the Western RPGs, we've experienced this whole create a character, build a story around them. You know, you've got your free roaming and everything. And that's why JRPGs recently, you know, they've been selling worse and worse, and we're getting less and less JRPGs ported over here. Like on the PS2, you must have had 1,000 or so JRPGs that were ported over here.
Well, the portable systems like the PSP and the DS, they still have lots of really great JRPGs. I gotta say, I'm much more of a fan of JRPGs than I am of Western RPGs.
I think the reason behind that is that handheld's a lot cheaper to sort of just outsource your game to an English translation thing. You don't need the voice acting done, so you just sort of go, yeah, translate this and we'll bring it to the US or the UK or whatever. So that's why we're probably getting a lot more of them. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of obscure JRPGs on Xbox 360 and PS3, or probably mainly PS3 in Japan. They're just not getting ported over here because we're not the audience for them, obviously, JRPGs. But I digress. Where were we going before we had that massive deviation?
How about the Conduit 2 on the Wii? Does anyone really care? Or is that just one more shooter that just happens to be on the Wii?
Did anyone play the Conduit?
I didn't. We have a review on the site, but...
Yeah, so if anyone's interested in the Conduit series, check the review out, because we've got the first one reviewed by none of us, so we can help you.
It was Inferno, yeah.
By the way, we're not Conduit-centric. I'm sure it's a good series.
We're not Wii-centric.
Yeah, that's the point.
Well, before you say that too much, I got 2 more Wii titles to bring up.
Oh, no.
And,
okay.
It's basically, it's all in one. So here, Lego Star Wars 3. And, or Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. Do more of these, is my question.
Wait. Lego Star Wars 3?
my thoughts exactly.
But they already did the whole saga. What's the third one on?
It's based on the Clone Wars TV show.
Oh, Christ.
So, like, it's... I don't know. The only reason anyone played the first two was because they wanted to experience the saga, I guess. I mean, I got bored out of Lego games after, like, the first level of the first Lego Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, it's too basic for me, but I'm sure, you know, kids enjoy it. But I suppose if that's right for the audience, I mean, they're going to watch the show, then they can play the Lego game about it. But it does seem unnecessary.
At this point, what other properties could they make into a Lego game?
Well, they've got the Pirates of the Caribbean. That I would like to see, although they don't have Johnny Depp's voice, which I think makes Jack Sparrow's character, like, that's what you want. I don't know, that could be interesting. If there's a demo, I'd play it.
Mm-hmm.
But what else they got? They got Indiana Jones, they got Harry Potter. They've just taken all the popular movies.
Well, hey, at least they're
Twilight.
Lego Half-Life.
No, I don't
And
think
I
they would do that.
myself.
It would be like
Lego
making a Lego version of, I don't know, Terminator, something that kids would feel
That
like
would be
that's
funny.
okay.
I would actually play that, I think.
I would too, actually.
Not for long, but, you know, just to get the gist.
I think we
So,
should
yeah.
suggest it to Lego. That would be a good idea. Track sales.
Hey, like a Terminator. I mean, it hasn't been a successful Terminator movie in a while, but...
It's only been 20 years. Come on.
Since the second one. The second of the good ones. I mean, I wasn't a particular fan of the third one. Or, I don't know, Christian Bale gets angry at another cast member one. I can't remember which actual one.
I have not seen any Terminator movies.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Come on!
No. I would lend you the DVDs, but then I'd realise that you couldn't watch them because they were different regions. That's just bad. You need to... Actually, I don't know. You might want to wait a few years. They are a bit...
Oh, come on. T2. You gotta go out and watch it tomorrow. Really.
Yeah, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger being a badass. Like, an actual good badass. As opposed to, I don't know, Commando. It's not the same vein. Yeah, you go watch that before Portal 2, you know, get something out of your system. Maybe that's what you can do instead of being frozen. I don't know, I don't see it's going well. What were we discussing? Major tangent.
How about the PSP 2?
That is a reaction to the PSP 2. If it's any way an advancement from the PSP Go, I think we're in trouble. They need the UMD discs, otherwise they're screwed with the PSP.
I think the plan is not to have any.
The only memory I have of the PSP is using it to launch explosives at zombies.
Is this a Gmod reference?
No, well, kind of. It's Xmod.
Oh,
that's
God,
the only... Well, it's mod, but whatever. Anyway, that's my experience with PSP.
Alright, so none of us care about PSP. Have we established that then?
Yeah.
Well, no, I've had the original PSP, and it's quite good hardware on it. I mean, I haven't really bought any PSP exclusive games per se, but they had this game, Test Drive Unlimited. It's basically you drive around an island and drive awesome cars, and they fit that whole game, which is like 1,000 miles of open road, on the PSP. And there's no real loading screens in between each section or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was quite an amazing feat, because it's not that far off the actual game on the Xbox 360, which is quite amazing.
Well, we're talking about things like PlayStation 2 graphics on the 3DS, but doesn't PSP, isn't that close to that already?
Yeah, well, I'd say it's between PlayStation 2, at best.
I heard Hideo Kojima said that the models were as good as the PlayStation 3.
On the new one, yeah.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation Portable 2, they said.
I'm talking about 3DS, but wait, I don't know. Talking about the PSP, my bad.
He has got a game out on the 3DS, hasn't he? He's just going, yeah, they're as good as the PS3, brilliant. Yeah.
He would say that, wouldn't
he? Yeah. PSP 2, though, I have heard rumours that the graphics are as good as PS3, and it's got dual analog sticks, and it's just rubbish, really, isn't it? I mean, apparently it's a big reveal of it, like an official announcement on January the 27th, after the January the 19th conference for the 3DS. So, I don't know, we'll find out everything then, but I don't know, it could be interesting. Maybe they'll put touchscreen in it. Maybe it's going to be with the PSP phone thing that's been going around.
No, I think those things are supposed to be separate. I think they said pretty convincingly that those were two different products. But
so there's not going to be anything too special with it. I guess we'll have to wait and see with the PSP 2. It depends what they can do with it though, because heard the Monster Hunter series, which is literally the only thing that sells the PSP in Japan, where it sells loads, is apparently gonna move to the DS with the 3DS, and if that happens, that will kill the PSP as a console, because that has no other successful IP really that will sell that console. So,
well, it just seems like they've lost their chance with it, really. I mean, they've fallen behind Nintendo with it, and they've just never built back up some sort of fan base or anything.
The PSP's always been behind Nintendo. I don't think you can beat Nintendo in the handheld market. They've had so many years of experience within the handheld market compared to anything else that you can't really beat them.
Well, but that's kind of what we thought about home consoles, and then they put out the Wii, and yes, they appealed to the casual market, but they've completely lost everyone else.
Screw
That's the
the
point.
Wii. Wait, that sounds really
sure.
nasty.
Well, it would when you think of it. Duh.
Wait,
Immature mind.
That's what I
Alright,
meant.
so that's the PSP 2. Anyone looking forward to that?
Nope.
No.
No.
We might as well just finish on that sneeze as soon as it was mentioned.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see with that. It could be brilliant. Who knows?